Hi, welcome to Science, Learning the Hard Way, Episode 3. As promised, we're going to talk about the fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire ended nearly 1,500 years ago, but still today, the world is heavily influenced by the Roman culture. Our art, architecture, and even our form of government all have a distinct Roman flavor. Speaking of Roman flavor, I think it's time to talk about some wine. Unlike today's wines, which are produced with cultured yeast, the Romans had to rely on natural yeast to produce their wine. These natural yeasts produce a very bitter, unpleasant tasting wine. So, one guy discovered that if you boil this wine in a lead bowl, it produces a very sweet syrup, which he called sapa. If you add sapa back to the wine, and you can even add sapa to food and make it sweeter, it's problem solved. 100 years after the invention of sapa, 1/5 of all Roman dishes were prepared with sapa. The sapa was prepared by heating the ethanol-rich wine in a lead-lined bowl. This heat encouraged the ethanol and lead to form a complex with a characteristically sweet flavor. The sweetness of sapa came at a high price. Any amount of lead in your diet is toxic. Lead is hard to get rid of. Lead forms a complex with your bones and stays with you forever. Archaeologists have recently analyzed the bones of ancient Roman emperors and noted an unusually high concentration of lead. This high concentration of lead in their bones can be linked directly to the introduction of sapa into their diets. The effects of chronic lead poisoning are really nasty. Let's examine these effects when we look at one of Rome's most certifiably insane emperors, Nero. Nero was known as one of Rome's most peculiar emperors. He was known to have a hot temper and a passion for random violence. He had his wife executed because she was infertile. He once became so depressed that he sent his servants out to burn Rome to the ground while he fiddled on a balcony. The bad temper, infertility, and depression are all symptoms of chronic lead poisoning. After a string of lead-lined emperors, Rome was in shambles. Their food was delicious, but they ended up learning the hard way. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We enjoyed making them, so if you have any suggestions, send them to the email below, and I guess that's it.